And our coverage continues here on CBS Sports HQ as we take you back out to the site where our quarterback Trent Green joins the conversation. And Trent, I always feel like there's one crew that gets all the wild early in a season, and that certainly has been yours. But I'm looking at 57 of 67, more than 800 yards through the air by these two quarterbacks, and it's a lone issue at the end that offers opportunity. How do you parse the day for both of these QBs?
Well, I agree with you. We've been a very fortunate crew to get a lot of great ball games, and it was the same today. We thought we were going to have a good game. We thought it was going to be more of a defensive battle. We knew the two quarterbacks were efficient, came in here doing really well, but the defenses both held their opponents under 300 yards. You just got done talking about both teams were over 400 yards of total offense, both quarterbacks over 300 yards. It's an incredible offensive game, especially in the second half. It was just whoever was going to get the ball last, and it's the points over turnovers. I know you guys just talked about that, but 2 turnovers for the Seahawks, 10 points off of those 2 turnovers. That's the huge difference in this game.
I never want to take it too far back, but these are two previously discarded quarterbacks, for lack of a better term. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, finding success elsewhere. But it takes a certain individual to go on the road and do what Baker and his team just did. The belief that's grown in that room over the last 2 calendar years, his responsibility for that. How do you make sense of what Baker Mayfield has become?
It really is amazing. Both these quarterbacks have been amazing stories. You know, you talk about Baker being the #1 draft pick, Darnold being the #3 draft pick. They both were let go by their teams that drafted them, and they've been to multiple places since then. So it's finding their legs, finding their feet, finding their game, finding their confidence. And as Baker Mayfield told us, when he got to L.A., he found the love for the game again. And really his game has changed since that short time he spent with Sean McVay and that staff. And he has fit so well into what they're trying to do here in Tampa Bay and Todd Bowles in this offense. And even though they've had to change offensive coordinators because they keep getting head coaching jobs, Mayfield has picked up right where he's left off. He's competitive. All their games come down to the end. All 4 wins this season have been accomplished in the final minute of the game. Of course, today on the final play of the game.
I think one final through line to draw here between the two is a young Ohio State pass catcher at their ready call, either Jackson Smith-Njigba or Emeka Egbuka for these two quarterbacks. I want to go Egbuka here on the winning side. There's understanding the game, there's playing at a high level, and then there's executing and doing the small things that we usually only see from veterans. What have you seen from the game of Egbuka early on that showed you he's well beyond his years?
He's well beyond his years, as you said. And I think when you talk to the coaching staff, when you talk to Baker Mayfield, they talk about how his game is mentally. I love the fact that he is coming back home, right? This is where he's from. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year here in Washington. He's from the area, and it was just a great homecoming for him, getting away with the win. And his mom had an entire section of this stadium that he was saving for family and friends. And so just him coming back. It's really, I reflect back on what the coaches talked to us this week and what Baker talked to us about. He said he is a student of the game. He's always asking questions. He's mature beyond his years because he wants to know not just what am I doing, what's the rest of the play, what's the design of the play, what are you expecting from me? Baker's been very impressed with how he's willing to ask questions and wants to continue to get better. And then we saw, as we did today, he's just coming up with big play after big play, helping this offense.
That's just the good stuff once again here for the Trent Green-led crew. We appreciate you, as always, stopping by as these cardiac Bucks do it once again their way, specifically 4-1 for the first time since 2021 when it was Tom Brady at the helm. Quarterbacks everywhere, Trent Green, we're thankful that you're here.
Thank you.
What a game, what a call. If you like NFL action, you got to love that stuff, unless you're a defensive coordinator, of course. If that's the case, well, we're back to the drawing board. Emeka Egbuka is such a big part of this cardiac Bucks offense early on this season. Receiving yards in a game by a rookie in Bucks history. 163 for Egbuka in a homecoming as he comes through once again. The Bucks improving to 4-1. Back in studio with the guys. Ben, I promised to come to you first here, and that I will do. High-level quarterback play is something we all welcome here on any NFL Sunday, but that was something different. What stood out to you between Mayfield and Darnold's performance?
Well, I think first things first, just the efficiency from both these guys, right? Baker Mayfield, 4 incompletions, Sam Darnold, 6 incompletions. As a fan of the game, fireworks, offense, explosive plays. It's what you love to see. Both of these guys did a really good job protecting the ball today, putting their offense in a good spot to go out there and score points. You saw it on that last drive for the Seahawks. Sometimes one bad play, one bad decision. Sam Darnold having the ball at the end of the play sometimes isn't the end of the world. Check it down. Take a sack in that scenario. You got to at least just get to overtime. So game of inches sometimes. That game came down to last play. Tampa did an unbelievable job of capitalizing.
The first game since 1950 with 700 or more combined passing yards and fewer than 10 or fewer incompletions. Excuse me, just to say, my dad's never seen anything like that before. That is not my father's football, but exciting nonetheless as they traded touchdowns back and forth, JJ. You're waiting for something to happen, and unfortunately that's a reality that still follows Sam Darnold, that one final mistake.
That's right. That's how last season ended for Sam Darnold. And then, it's always been with Sam Darnold, man, the start is really good. But then you just wait and you wait. And look, that was an unfortunate error that he had there in the final minute of the game. But of course it comes against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, with their 4 victories so far this season, they've won them all in the last minute of the game. This is a team that you do not want to play the 60th minute Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They may be the best team in the NFL when it comes down to it, and that is a credit, of course, to Todd Bowles and his staff. They hired a game management coach in the offseason. Todd Bowles has been listening to him. That is the reason, because these games have all been the 50-50. The ball bounces the other way, they lose these games. In the past, Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers may have lost those games, but that's why they are at the top of the NFC South, because of Baker Mayfield's play, of course, but how well they play in clutch moments.
After the touchdown, Mayfield off script to ostensibly tie the game 35-34 with the extra point waiting. We saw Baker call for 2, Mac. We saw, I want 2. Coach overrides, they kick it. In the end, it's the right decision. On the road, in the moment, what'd you make of that back and forth?
I wanted to also because their offense was rolling. But if you know anything about Todd Bowles, he is going to do it by the book. And in this moment, the book worked for Todd Bowles. And also, too, when you look at Tampa, are we undervaluing how good they are? Because being 4-1 is one thing, but the way they've been able to win their ball games without key contributors, missing your best offensive lineman, your number 1 wide receiver, your number 2 wide receiver, your number 3 who became your number 2 wide receiver a year ago in Jalen McMillan. And then you look at not having Bucky Irvin today, not having Kalijah Clancy. These guys have been missing, and you can't tell because they get into these ball games against playoff caliber teams and they fight till the end. And remember a week ago, yes, they lost, but they took the Eagles down to the wire as well. So they could easily be undefeated with a slew of injuries on either side of the football field. But when you watch them play, you can't tell they're missing this guy or that guy because they still are productive and they do it by the book.
Ben, I'll pose that same question to you. Are we, in fact, underestimating what the Buccaneers are right now and what they can be? When you look at the grand scheme of the NFC, the Eagles suffer their first loss, a head-to-head that they played close. You have other teams like the LA Rams that look fit for the billing. But when you look at Tampa Bay, could you see them end scene representing the NFC?
Oh, 100%. I mean, look at the last couple weeks. Baker, every single game, regardless, they've been rotating linemen, rotating receivers, whatever it is. The main constant, the one thing that stayed constant in this offense, Baker Mayfield, his production, his leadership, his ability to get guys around him to play better, right? And every week, this is a new season for some teams. Baker Mayfield, every single week, keeps coming out, keeps producing. A hostile environment today in Seattle, a place that I played in 2023 for the XFL. Now, that place wasn't rocking like it was today, but nonetheless, a really hard environment in the NFL. Baker Mayfield did an unbelievable job putting his team in a spot to win and getting it done there on the last drive.
We get wrapped up in these games, the results, the numbers that come out of them, but when you zoom out, you can also take a look at the map, and I'm seeing some travel here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going that way to do what they just did. Another indication that this is a team that, come hell or high water, is going to give you their best for the full 60, JJ.
Well, there's no question about it. That is not an easy trip at all for any team to make. But they were able to do that. Next week, they're going to get a 49ers team that is very banged up, that is going to be making the trip to Tampa. That, Tampa's obviously hoping that they get a nice, wet, humid, muggy, second week of October game there in Tampa. And then, of course, the showdown in week 7 against the Lions. The one thing that we have not talked about in this, the uniform matchup.
Oh,
Right?
I mean,
the
your heart out.
1976 throwbacks were absolutely incredible. It was going to always be very difficult for this game to meet the sort of expectation and the bar that these jerseys, that these uniforms and helmets all set. Yet it did meet and maybe even exceeded that bar today. Fantastic game.
I love the point. I love the look. And how could you not love this game? Back and forth they went. In the end, 3 better. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers clipping one on the road. A look at some numbers. Again, Emeka Egbuka, such a big part
Oh, my
of
goodness.
these come-from-behind victories. 160-something in this game and 5 touchdowns in his first 5 career games. Does anybody know any hard games? Egbuka, sound at this football thing.